Look, it's good to be here. Dalia, thank you. I know you have a few challenges with the technology, so hopefully we will be able to come up with some few messages. My name is Constantin Salameh. I'm going to take you back 50 years ago. 50 years ago, I entered as a Lebanese the military service. خدمت بالجيش كطالب احتياطي مدة سنة. وكنت بارتفاع 608 بمرجعيون. هذه كانت أول الحرب الأهلية. And for the past 50 years, I looked at our country, and I looked at our country going down and down and down, هذا هو. And the question is why? The question is why is the country going through this slope of complete, what I call destruction, in terms of every single dimensions that we could think. But the second question, which is most important, is what can all of us do about it? Is one word. One word. How come? Governance. It's governance, and governance doesn't start at the state. The governance doesn't start with organization. Governance starts with each one of us. Do we have the ethics, the transparency, the accountability that we could then implement within our organizations, that we could implement within the countries? And lack of governance has been at the center of the issues that we have faced as a country. The answer to the second question is what I've tried to do. Over the past 50 years, I reflected on this. And both my parents left us about 3 years ago. And the only thing that they have said is, one, the family, and two, what can you do to your country? So what I'm going to share with you is basically my life project. Is what can we do in order to help the governance structure within the country? And I'll answer 3 questions. The first one is, why are SMEs and social enterprise at the core of the new economic order in this country? Why are they so important? The second question is, what are the challenges that they are facing today? What are those challenges? And the third one is what we are doing as the ecosystem to be able to help those companies create value, continue, transform, and generate impact. So these are the 3 questions that I will try to do. Now, the reason why, if you look at the company that we set up is CS Touch Advisors, we'll be more than happy to share with you more information. But if you look at the title of it, it's Uplifting Innovative Social Enterprise for Sustainable Impact. In this one sentence, every word is important. What we try to do is to uplift. How do we uplift? Advisory services, capacity building, funding, access to new markets. The whole point is you need to uplift those SMEs that are present in Lebanon. The second one is about innovative. You need innovation. So what we try to do is plant the seed of innovation in a number of the companies that we work with. You're going to listen to 3 companies after my pitch. One is a fund that we're setting up in order to help Lebanese exporters to access funding. Today, they don't have factoring services. So the 2 gentlemen that will be following me will be sharing with you what are they doing in order to, and this is about innovation, to provide factoring services to industrialists in Lebanon to be able to export is critical. The second one is here, Bassem Al-Hibri will be sharing with you this afternoon what he's doing from OK Distribution by completely breaking the business model to help the Kanjiye, small retailers in the villages, access their product directly from the factories. These are clear examples of innovation. Mario will be the chairman and CEO of Biomass, will be also sharing with you what he is doing. These are clear examples of innovative companies that are doing their best in order to be able to continue to create values in the economic system in Lebanon. So the second word was innovative. The third word is social. Why is social important? Because investors today are shifting. They're shifting towards not only financial return, but they're shifting towards ESG return, social return. What are you doing to the economy? What are you doing in terms of energy savings, water savings, protection of the land? What are you doing in terms of creating new jobs? What are you doing in terms of rural empowerment? The name of the game is really about the ESG impact, environment, social, and governance impact. The final word is sustainable impact. Most of the donors and the investors will only invest today in organization that has demonstrated the ability to be able to sustain financially. So this is in some ways a summary of what we're trying to do. So why are SMEs important? SMEs are the fundamental pillars of the economy in Lebanon. They account for 90% of the companies that are currently being operating in the country. They account for 40% of the GDP, 50% of the employment, and are substantial players in trying to create social and environment impact. So they are a funding pillars, and this has been the pillars that has been the most neglected by the government, by the banks, and by other financial institutions. This is an example of how you position SMEs and social enterprise. On the left side, you have what we call charity and the NGOs. On the right side, you have fully fledged commercial companies. We tend to focus in the middle ground. Companies that have the ability to maintain financially, but companies that at the same time create impact and invest their profit back to the company in order to accelerate their impact creation. This is where we focus in, and this is where a number of other players in this ecosystem focus. What are they trying to address? The big issues that the country is facing. Poverty, decaying infrastructure, the environmental deterioration, unemployment, brain drain, and governance. So what are those sectors? These are the sectors selected by the sponsors, by the donors, and by the investors. These tend to be the sectors that gain most importance in attracting funds from the diaspora and from existing investors. Agriculture, so agri-tech, green tech, circular economy, edutech, health tech. If you realize everyone has a tech portion, everyone would need to have a technology enabler to be able to differentiate from the others. These are the players. The ecosystem today in Lebanon is actually a busy one. And we put them into 4 different categories. You have the funding entities, so these are the people that are providing the funds. We as CS Touch are working with a number of them. These are important players in providing tens of millions of dollars into the Lebanese economy directly through partners or directly to the companies. On the below side, you have the networks. So these are networks of organizations that are working together as part of this ecosystem. You know, the RDCL is one example. LLWB is focusing on women entrepreneurs. LIFE is the Lebanese diaspora in the finance community. You have university incubators. We have been associated with several of them, being it Beritech, being it UZEC, being it others. And lastly, you have the accelerators. These accelerators are here to help startup move from a startup phase to an SME phase. So if you could see here, you have a large number of players that are active and providing value-added services to the economy and to these small, medium-sized enterprises. What are the challenges? So the first question is, why is it important? It's important because it's the pillar of the economy. The second question is, what are the challenges? If I want to summarize it, it's access to markets. They need to access new markets. Access to capital. They need the funds to be able to grow and to access new markets. But equally important is access to talent. How do we find the right talent for our organization, given the brain drain that you have in Lebanon? The fourth one is access to innovative technology. You heard Fadi earlier today. This is one example of an innovative technology company in Lebanon. Murex is another example. I'm sitting now with Malik Al-Khouri. Just after this presentation, we're going to the board of CCL. CCL employs several hundred Lebanese engineers, and they're here in the pre-stressed concrete and in other fields. So you have a number of engineering and technology companies that are using Lebanon, are using the skilled workforce in order to be able to extend their services on a global basis. So these are the main challenges that they face. Also access to best practices in terms of governance. So we have, and access to networks. So these tends to be the challenges, but if you want to summarize it, access to markets, access to talents, access to capital, and access to technology and innovative services. Now, what are we doing? So these are examples of measures for each one of them. If you look at access to funding, Ghassan and Nicolas, just after my presentation, will share with you the fund that we are launching next month to be able to provide funding, factoring services to exporting companies in Lebanon. This is the first factoring fund that helps support Lebanese exporter, the first. The access to talents, I've mentioned CCL. What we've done here is to make sure that we provide the right environment, and would encourage you to reach out and to check the website of CCL. They've created a whole campus-like. So it's not only about the place that they work, where they live, where they enjoy, where they train on it. And this is extremely important in attracting and in retaining talent. Access to markets. I'm sitting also on the board of small companies, but also of large companies like the Bani Agri and the Bani Sayali Group. Why is this important? Because these small companies that are innovative, like Smartland, like Duda, like Remer, these are all Lebanese companies very specialized in the agri-tech sector, are signing agreements with established players like the Bani Agri that are present across more than 15 countries and accessing tens of thousands of farmers. So this access to market is fundamental, and the liaison between established companies and startup is important. Access to innovative technologies, you've heard about Multinane with Fadi. I don't want to explore more about it, but you have other examples behind. Access to capacity building, this is what we are doing. This is what the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development is also doing. They're funding several hundreds of technical assistance and consulting programs to help SMEs get the services that they need, either in terms of capital, in terms of technology, in terms of access to market. So these are all clear examples that are currently being operating in Lebanon. Access to network and to partners. Yesterday we had an event with Life. We had 9 innovative companies in the circular economy, in agri-tech, and in clean tech present. We had 150 investors and advisors present. We did it in Beirut Digital District behind it. Huge success. Anthony, who is the head of Cedar Oxygen, came to me afterwards. He said, Constantin, I want to meet with every single one of those companies. All of them have a potential, and we'll be more than happy to see how we could help them. So you have today a number of initiatives here to be able to help those innovative companies present. What do we do as CS Touch Advisors? We're based in Switzerland, but we have offices here in Lebanon, and we have been operating actually for the past close to 20 years. We set up the first VC fund with Berytech back about 18 years ago. This was Berytech Fund 1, with Nasser Saidi, with Fadi Debane, with Maroon Shamas, and with Khater from Kafalat. This was the first attempt to support SMEs. We continued afterwards with Berytech Fund 2. So now what we are doing, it's 4 pillars. The first one is advisory services. We sit down with those companies, we sit down with their boards, and this could be for-profit and non-profit, and we help them identify where they are, where they want to go, and how can they transform. This is one of the work that we do. The second one is we sit on the board. I've mentioned CCL, I've mentioned the Nisai Ali, ICC is present, is one of the technology players in cloud computing and artificial intelligence, biomass. These are all examples of companies that realize the importance of having independent board members to help them go through transformation. And this is a fundamental aspect of the work that we do. Capacity building and coaching, we have a number of programs that are funded by donors, Al-Fanar, Drosos Foundation, and others that are here to encourage. And we have been running these programs for the past years. And typically these programs take 10, 20, 30 of the companies that we end up selecting. We sit down with them, understand where they are, help them in terms of capacity building, in terms of one-on-one coaching, and most importantly, provide them with grant funding so as to allow them to be able to implement that transformation journey. These programs exist, these programs will continue to exist, and these programs are essential to support these SMEs in Lebanon. The final one is funding. I could talk and I could advise, but at the end of the day, I sat down, I have two beautiful sons that have, and I have, in a month, I'll have 4 grandchildren coming. I sat down with them and we decided that a big portion of the savings that I've generated over the past years will be used to fund. So over the past 10 years, we've invested millions of dollars to fund 25 companies. So not only we're advising, we're actually putting from our own money in order to invest in capital in those companies that we decide that have the combination of innovation, impact, scalability, and governance. So once we have worked with them, we understand them, we then put our own money behind our words and behind the deeds that we do. And we encourage a number of diaspora members to do the same. We have a network of friends that are here, that have the same values and are interested in being able to support those SMEs through advisory services and through funding services. These are examples. This is example of 2 projects that are ongoing. You have the name of the companies with whom we work. These are 2 different programs. One is over 3 years, the other one is over 2 years. We run both of these programs the same way we have run other programs in the past. So these are all companies that combine innovation, combine scalability, and combine impact. And you have dozens, if not hundreds, of these companies in Lebanon. It's a question of finding them, it's a question of reaching out to them, it's a question of helping them join this program. So these are 2 examples that are currently running. You have also assignments, you know, Made by Nature. CCHO is another company in the health tech sector. OK Distribution, Bassem will describe to you this afternoon what he's doing. And it's really, he is completely breaking the barriers in terms of access to these Dekanjis for the product and the services. And his key differentiation is the technology platform that he has. And today, no one else is doing it in the country and across the region. This is a clear, innovative ideas that has been implemented and is leading great results. These are examples of the companies that we have invested. You know a few of them that are present in Lebanon. You know probably Optique et Vision, and you know a number, Fabric Aid, CCHO are examples. We have Wakilni is the leading in the last mile delivery. And we have the funds that you will be hearing about in a few minutes. OK Distribution is another example. This is a few of the examples of the companies that we fund. Because it's not only good to provide the services, it's not only good to provide your time and your passion. What's very important is for you to be able to provide the funds. Because once you do this, you're actually with the company for at least 5 years, if not 10 years. And you cannot transform an organization without the time to be able to grow them. So these are examples of this is the clients. And you will see in the clients, you have a number, most of them are Lebanese based. So these are the clients with whom we have been working over the past years, with whom we have been providing our advisory services. And for a selected number of them, we went into funding their services. And these are not only clients, they end up becoming family members because you build the trust, you build this level of what I call friendship that you have, and these end up becoming people with whom not only we work, people with whom we hike, people with whom we go to retreats together, and people with whom we're all interested in being able to continue in building this social economic order in Lebanon. These are the partners. These are the organizations that fund our services. These are the organizations with whom we work. I've mentioned EBRD, I could mention IFC. We have others that are either in Lebanon or outside Lebanon, and these are key players in being able to set up and shape this economic order. This is my last slide. Now, you're here, you've been listening. What we're encouraging you, for those of you who are interested in wanting to explore the portfolio of companies that we have funded, we'll be more than happy to reach out and to share this information with you. Every single one of those companies we have worked for at least 1 year. We help them build their data room, and we help them raise funds. Not only this, we would have invested personally in all these different companies. So if you are interested, reach out. We have Lama Makarim, who is now taking the video in the back, will be more than happy to take your contact detail and be able to reach out. For those of you who want to access the network, we are interested in building up this network, in increasing. And every day we're meeting other organizations that have an interest in wanting to contribute to this ecosystem and to be able to shape this ecosystem. The last one is for SMEs. Either you know or you are the owner of an SME. We are interested in finding out more. We were blessed to work with more than 400 SMEs over the past 20 years, and most of them are Lebanese SMEs. So in case you know of anyone who could be interested in these services, we'll be more than happy to sit down with them and talk to them. So this is my call for action. Is Georges here? Is Rassan here? Rassan is not here. Okay, so this is that. Thank you. I'm going to close here. I don't know if you have any questions on what we do. To summarize it, it's all about governance. Without governance, there is no country. Without governance, you will not have financially sustainable companies. Without governance, you're not going to have good citizens who are really interested in building their country. So the essence is governance. The way around it is to support SMEs that combine innovation, that combines impact, that combines scalability, and that combines strong ethics. This is what we dedicate our time. This is what we believe is the future of this country, and I hope several of you will be joining our journey. Alf Afi Elkon, thank you very much. Any questions? ما في سؤال? It's a good audience. نعم؟ بس ما في سؤال؟ No. Lama, can you raise your hands? So this is Lama Makarim. She is my business partner. In case you have any, she's the one who put the slide set, by the way, together. So she's the one who does all the work. In case any of you is interested in wanting to find out more about us, please reach out to her. We'll be more than happy to sit down with you. Tfaddal. Okay, this is an important question. How do we select the enterprise? What we do is we have the ability, we do what I call, we reach out. And the way we reach out is 3 ways. One is we do it through monthly events that are open to all, that are free, where we talked about different topics, from leadership to governance to financial management to scalability to strategic planning. The second one is we organize executive programs with leading universities, in this case with the University Saint-Joseph, and we invite executives to come and we talk, but this is 3 days. This is not an hour and a half. These are 3-4 days event. We open it, and for a number of the participants who don't have the means, we do it completely on a pro bono basis. So this is how we reach out to them. How we select them, we look at companies, but at the end of the day, they become family members. The same way you have selected your wife. I don't know if you're married. Are you married? So the same way you selected your wife, the first criteria is what? Alignment in values. We want to work with organizations that think the same way we do, because we're going to have problems together. Like any couple, any marriage, you have problems. Is the fact that we know we're going to have the problems, that we know also that we could be overcome these problems together. Alignment in values is very important. The second one that I've mentioned earlier is innovation. Trust me, innovation is the single most important factor to help organizations develop. Multilane has this innovation spirit. Murex has this innovation spirit. CCL has this innovation spirit. So the question is, how could you help those SMEs define what is their innovation? And innovation is not only about product and service, it's about a process. It's about the way you reach out to customers. It's the way you deliver your services. So the second criteria is innovation. The third criteria, which for us is fundamental, is impact. We're not here to help maximize the wealth of the entrepreneurs only. We're here to make sure that these entrepreneurs are providing an impact. I'm going to use an example. I've mentioned biomass. Mario is speaking this afternoon. Biomass provides bioproducts, eggs, vegetables, fruits in supermarket in Lebanon. You probably know the brand. He's the market leader. What is interesting for us is that I consider Mario like my own son. I'm blessed to have two sons. Mario is the same age, and his value set, and when you hear him, you'll understand what I'm saying. So the alignment is value is important, but at the same time, Mario is working with 50 farmers and helping them how to plant better, how to irrigate better, how to use natural fertilizers. All of those, what is he doing? He's helping these farmers, moving from 50 farmers to 100 farmers to 500 farmers. This is what we're helping Mario do. Because by doing this, he is actually improving the economic conditions of these farmers that are located across Lebanon. So this is an example of the impact. When we talk to, another example is Robertson Agri, which is now the Quadra Group, two sisters, Rula and Nadine Al-Khouri. What are they doing? They're providing seeds, seedlings, water irrigation systems to how many? To more than 5,000 farmers. Each of these farmers, they have 10 people relying to it. So they are touching the lifestyle of 50,000 people. So impact is fundamental, and impact will become more and more important. The last one, beside alignment, beside impact, is that you want to make sure that these companies have the ability to sustain financially. You want to make sure that these companies are able to grow and to continue to grow. So this is to answer your question. These are the criteria. Alignment in values. It is about sustainability, financial sustainability. It's about innovation. It's about impact. These are the four criteria that we do. If you ask me which one is the most important, alignment in values is fundamental. Because we know that this relationship, once you invest, is going to be there for 10, 15. In some of the countries, it's even 20 years. And the whole message behind it is not only for us to do it. You know, I'm reaching the age of 69 next month, is to make sure that you have the second generation that are able to take over. So people that I have mentioned, people that we work with that are at the age of our children, to be able to take and to continue doing this and providing these services to Lebanese companies. Okay, I'm going to present Georges and Nicolas. Who's presenting, Georges or Nicolas? Rassan, Rassan and Nicolas, at least I have you right. This is one of the examples. I've mentioned to you today, if you're looking at industrialists, what is the number one issue that they want is access to financing. Today, the banks are not touching them with a long pole, and they need this to be able to export. So what Rassan will present is the fund that we're launching next month that is providing funding services, factoring services to industrialists that are looking for 3, 4, or 5 months, basically factoring funding for their services. So this is one example of innovation, of impact, because by doing this, you're allowing these industrial companies to be able to export. Rassan, تفضل. Thank you.